It is Saturday, April 8th, 2017. It's been a while since I made my last video, and I thought it's about time to make an update on my view on gold and gold miners. I've mentioned 100 times that I was expecting miners to be weak and to sell off, and that I didn't like the relative weakness in miners. And we have JDST here on the right, gold futures on the left, and no, I'm repeating myself, but since Fed Day here, gold put on another 50 bucks, and this spike here corresponds to this spike, and junior gold miners have done nothing since. They went lower to sideways, and GDX behaved a little better. It's at the top of the range, made a new high on Friday, but couldn't hold it. The second Dudley started speaking, gold reversed the entire move that it did based on the bombing of Syria and the weak non-farm payrolls report. Everything what I have said all year, that I think the economy is accelerating and that the Fed will do multiple hikes, I still believe, and I still believe this is an environment that is not really favorable for gold. But gold so far has proven me wrong, because we just made a new high this year in gold, although we couldn't hold it. But still, miners, whole different story. As I mentioned before, terrible relative weakness. And what I find interesting is that Yellen thinks it's necessary to speak on Monday and take questions on Twitter. And I've been asking myself, why would she all of a sudden change her behavior like that and change her way of communicating? Do they have a communication problem? Are they not happy with how the market took the Fed minutes? And with that in mind, Dudley started speaking on Friday, and he also kind of felt the need to clarify things, that the market maybe took the Fed minutes a little too dovish. I know it's simply speculation what she's going to say, but I find it really odd that she feels it's necessary to communicate with us more closely, and I don't think she would do that if the market had priced it in the way she would like the market to price it in. So what could she possibly be in for? Does she want to be more dovish than the market took it already? I mean, I find that very unlikely. So if, then the risk is that she's going to be more hawkish, and she wants to clarify, hey, we are still in for 3 or maybe 4 rate hikes this year, and we want to taper and we want to reduce our balance sheet, and that is not a substitution of rate hikes. No, we're going to do that in tandem. And I believe that is what she wants to get across, because the market is giving her a free out of jail card here. Right? She gets away with these rate hikes because the market is so resilient. She would be stupid not to squeeze as many hikes in there as long as this market is holding up. Because if we see a 10-20% correction, yeah, you know Yellen won't stick to that path. So as long as the market is this benign, that is what she should be doing. And so that is what the fundamental option, Bob, is telling me. The only problem that I have, and it is probably overused, but it's this cognitive dissonance that I believe gold should not do well, but it is doing well. So I always question myself. It's like, is there something out there that I am not seeing? And but then on the other side, I see the weakness in miners, and they are telling a whole different story than gold. So the question is, who's right? Is it miners or is it gold? And I think the price action here, this looks, I mean, I know I've said this before, that this looks toppy, but this looks really toppy. And I mean, maybe it is because of my fundamental view. Regardless if I am being objective here, with me seeing topping behavior here, I want to take a look at what happened to TLT, long-term treasuries, and we saw very interesting price behavior there on Friday. I'm not sure why the data is not coming up. But we saw topping behavior there as well. The 10-year dropped below 230 temporarily and ended the day at 238-ish. And we've been in this range for quite some time, and it's been a very crowded trade. A lot of people were short treasuries. Oh, finally, here we have the data. So here's that that failed breakout that we had, and then it came right back. So that also looks very toppy to me, and it would almost be a classic reversal scenario. Shake a lot of people out of the trade, and then actually do the move that everybody was actually betting on. This might be what is needed for gold to actually put that reversal in. And if we zoom out here on GDXJ a little bit and compare this sideways action to the other three incidences that we've had here recently, all of those were followed by significant moves. This one here was a $6 move. Then we saw an $8 move. Here, 6. Here, 9. So between 6 and 9 bucks. If that thesis is correct, that it's very unlikely that the next move is north, that only leaves another option, and that is that move is south, because we're not going to get 6 or 8 bucks sideways, right? I mean, we could go sideways in time, but I believe it is. I believe the market is ready, and so if we say 6 to 8 bucks from here, that gets us down in this range from here to here. I mean, that is some substantial downside, and so I still believe that JDST is the right play. It's very difficult to know when does this move actually start, but I think when it does start, it might be a multi-day move. As far as time frame goes, if these patterns here repeat and we see a significant move, it took a week, 10 days for each of those massive moves to occur. So I just want to throw that out there. If we do see something, this might not be a one-day event. I'm not saying that it makes sense to hold it for the entire time, but it is good to be cognizant of it, that it could be a multi-day move ahead. So with all that said, it is very difficult to time it. So far, my timing has been off, so I'm not sure if this changes here when she speaks, or if this is actually that catalyst. But I do like the risk reward, because I think the risk that she is going to be more dovish than the market is expecting, I find that very unlikely. So there is the risk reward is heavily skewed to the downside. Let's put it that way.